Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is November 7th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. We've gone back a few days. I want to go over the recap on these last couple of storms here briefly before we dive into the forecast. Taking a look at what was going on Tuesday night, you can see that potent system out here. That was kicking off some of those big waves that happened to coincide with the king tides, and as we went on in through Wednesday morning here, you can see the system stretch all the way from California well up towards southern Alaska, brought some waves, some mountain snow, some winds, heavy precipitation, thunderstorms, tornado warnings, water spouts, all kinds of stuff. And then as we go on in towards yesterday, you can see that system again spinning up right here, moving towards Vancouver Island. That's what brought the windy conditions yesterday for much of the area as well. Now we go back towards where we are right now. Some energy dropping down out over the Pacific Ocean, but we are getting a bit of a break here, at least in the short term, across some of the region. We'll take a look at what is to come next as we go through the video here this morning. Still see we got some showers out there still ongoing right now, so expect that. You can kind of see that across northwest Oregon towards Portland, a little bit across eastern Oregon in towards Idaho as well, and some of western Washington, southwest BC getting some of that precipitation as the GOES 18 satellite imagery, visible satellite imagery. Kind of nice to see that sunrise across the area. So looking at the tide, still another very high tide today, and still some elevated wave action, but we are going to be bringing those tides down over the next few days, but still pretty elevated today, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're going out to the coastline, just keep an eye out for sneaker waves. We had some big storms out there. You never know what's rolling around the huge Pacific Ocean and when it might arrive on our coastline. So just be prepared for that. And of course, this is what's known as the spring tides, otherwise popularly known as the king tide. So here is where we are right about now. That's about 8 a.m. or so. There's about 9 a.m. and you can still see big waves on the coastline there. They're on the wane, but they're still very elevated as we go on in through today. And even for tomorrow, we'll start dealing with these elevated waves. Then we start to relax things as we go through Saturday night and on in through Sunday morning. But still, keep your wits about you if you're going out to the coastal areas. Don't turn your back on the ocean. You guys know the drill. Now, taking a look here, we still have the high surf advisory. This is expiring in the next hour or two. We still have the coastal flood advisory. The high tides and some of this big wave action could still be causing some flooding. And you could even get some of that down into the Oregon coast as well. So again, to 10 a.m. and the coastal flood advisory is to 3 p.m. here. Yeah, so watch out. They're talking about some of these bigger waves here. You got to watch out for the driftwood and those waves when you're out in the coastline. I saw that driftwood getting moved on Cape Disappointment yesterday. Was pretty sobering. Just huge waves battering the area. The craziest I've ever seen Cape Disappointment. Said hi to a few of you out there. Always nice to have people come up and say hi. I like to meet everybody who likes watching the channel, and I do enjoy meeting you on these storm chase trips that I take. So taking a look at what is going on today, you can see the showers moving across the shower activity moving across the region. But again, that's kind of, not too big of a deal. You can kind of really see it waning as we go through tonight and on in through very early tomorrow morning. And 80-meter wind speed. Something I do want to point out here is that as we go on in through tomorrow, look at the easterly winds on the North American model pop up here, and especially get ramping up as we go through tomorrow afternoon. And again, you kind of see that east component there across the Oregon Cascades through the Columbia River Gorge. There's the Stampede Gap and the Stevens Pass Gap here as well. Could be getting some gusts up over 50 miles per hour for some of these locations, so do be prepared for that as we're going on in through the day on tomorrow. You see this easterly flow all the way out towards the coastal range as well. Some gusty winds there. Some east winds across eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, also in Idaho Panhandle as well. So something to point out for tomorrow. We got a lot of rainfall here and we're calming things down. You can see some of these low clouds across the Willamette Valley and some of the Puget Sound, generally away from, the strongest east winds that will be picking up as we go into the day tomorrow. So that will clear out the fog for some areas, but you just have that in the back of your mind. There may be some foggy areas out there tomorrow morning. Now let's take a look at what is next to come here. So you can see the storm system moving up towards southern Alaska here, southeast Alaska. And we do get clipped by that system here as we go through Sunday night. On the day Sunday, it's going to be moving through western BC, Vancouver Island as you go through Sunday afternoon. And then it scrolls down through on the day Monday, brings some precipitation with it. Not an overly strong system, but it kind of keeps our active weather going a bit. And then we dig another deep trough off the west coast of North America. And some of the models are showing a lot of this energy going down to California. So we'll have to see how this plays out. This is still on into next week, and we'll continue to monitor this low pressure system here. It will bring rounds of precipitation with it. But again, we need to monitor to see just exactly what that is going to entail and just how that is going to affect us here across Pacific Northwest Northwest. We scroll into the extended forecast. You can see additional systems trying to make their way in, kind of keeping us fairly active as we go through the month of November. But again, we got to see just exactly what that next trough does. Now, 24-hour snow totals here. You can see we did get some snow over the last 24 hours across some of the higher terrain. And if I put that into motion, you'll kind of see that go away. We get a bit of a break here, and then we'll scroll off in towards next week and see if we have anything big in store. Not too much. I mean, some for the higher terrain, pretty typical for this time of year. But as we go on in towards, that's looking way out there. You're looking almost 2 weeks off into the extended forecast. We're not going to worry about that too much right now, but we can continue to check back. It is that time of year where hopefully we can start to build a little bit of snow across some of the higher terrain and maybe get some early season skiing going if things line up just right, but no promises. Now, the experimental product continues to show some of that slight risk for the West Coast. That's that next trough I talked about. So we'll just continue to watch to see how that is going to unfold. There's a risk of heavy snow. And again, you saw I just showed you what's going on for the Cascades. So there's not much to this as of right now, but some of this energy could be moving towards California. 6 to 10 days still has above normal and above normal precipitation as well as we go through November 16th. Check out the Patreon page if you like. If you want a weather station, the Tempest Weather Station is great. No moving parts, no maintenance. I have 2 of these I test at my house. Highly recommend this weather station. And yeah, so this is the one to get. Great for the price. But otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this all again tomorrow. We'll break down what is coming next, and I will talk to you guys then.